How are we doing? How many of you would like horrible things to happen to me because I won't shut up and you don't like my face? Or I've uh, I've insulted your delicate sensibilities? Or perhaps I've insulted your favorite mascot. You know, I'm rooting for the wrong team because you invented new teams that I wasn't aware of that had nothing to do with whether you were uh, team life or team anti-life, right? Who's in alignment with the higher force and who's not, and understanding that being in alignment with the higher force is not even like it's not even that fucking crazy of a thing for someone who is fucking half awake and with zero interest in being a piece of shit fucking human being. But none of that matters because we are lost in the miasma of the narrative world in our head. And now you only act like that with people within your narrative realm. I have honor. Unless I don't like you. Then I don't have to have honor. No, 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 no. Ye hypocrites, honor does not work that way. It's a difficult thing to show honor towards your enemies, or it's a difficult thing to show honor to just about anybody whom you don't think is your equal or better than you, right? So what typically happens is that people seem to be honorable, and then they start figuring out where you sit in the social hierarchy as they move themselves into their particular social hierarchies, and then they establish themselves through acts of dominance. Um, by talking to someone in an authoritative manner when that is not the terms of your relationship, right? Especially when it becomes an authoritative matter that has nothing to do with anything that is personally their their thing, right? If I walk into a Facebook group, moderators have authority, which is the way it is. If I walk into a bar, managers have authority. Some guy who's always at the bar who doesn't get drunk but is just a good stand-up guy, he would have more authority than me, just because the people with authority bestow him with authority out of trust and respect that is earned over time, right? These are social dynamics. And when the only thing you care about is finding a bunch of people you like, to find agreement with those people, and to call existing within that nucleus a life, and a life that is in the real world, a life that is a resistance to dark forces that are fucking up everyone else. right? And you think that you've got your cool little in-group that, you've got a right way that you think. You know who you don't like. You got all these little things that define you and set you into place where you belong. And then that becomes more important to you than a higher purpose. And looking at the people around you and working with that higher purpose, with that eclectic range, right? Sometimes authority doesn't even come from how you like that. Okay, there we go. Thank you for bearing with me. It's getting too hot in the car. And I turned on the air conditioner instead of just running with the windows cracked down. So at any rate, there are two kinds of people that are emerging out of this world of either and who is using a mission. You can be on a mission and you can be using a mission, right? Because people believe in people, right? They see somebody who's talking about doing a thing, and thus the subject is the mission that they talk about. So you listen to the person talking about the mission that you want to see fulfilled. And it's a big existential mission that you can't do on your own. And it fills your head full of an imagination of fighting the good fight and achieving the better world. Bro, no one is watching. Actually, if you go back and you watch any one of these videos, they all accrue views over time. You need to really try harder because, these videos, they stay up, and I do them live because it's easier than recording it and uploading it because it's already in the system in real time. So I'm not that worried that I have 0 views, 1 view, 2 views. But hey, you're watching. You're watching hard enough to troll me right now. That makes you a real special guy, doesn't it? Oh, thanks so much for showing your love, concern, and support for me. Fuck off. So, the mission gets turned into the grift. Because people say that they're about freedom. They say that they're about building a better world, being a better person. Well, that's the thing. Not all of them say that they're going to be a better person, right? A lot of people, they need the world to change, and they think if the world changes, then they can change. Because if the world changes, then I can finally get the procedure done for my medical problem, and I need the government to allow medicine to heal me. A lot of people think like that. A lot of people are brainwashed into that dependence, and they become the #1 supporters of the shock troopers that they believe fight on their behalf over other ideologies. And then we wonder why there aren't enough of us. We wonder why there's all this resistance to one person who stands up and says no. And then he stands up and he says no, and he goes through hell, and then everybody's like, oh wow, look at him, how awesome he went through hell. Like he went through hell for us. Because we're conditioned to think that way because of the slave programming of Christianity, right? It's just like, Jesus went through hell, so I didn't have to, right? It's just like, well, why do people worship Jesus? Because they think Jesus represents the fall of paganism. They think Jesus represents the fall of tyrannical pagan Rome, and thus pagan Rome is satanic Rome. And this is about as far as their mind can perceive. And so we're still kind of thinking like that, which is a theft of the principle of one man can make a difference, which, yes, one man can make a difference if he knows what the fuck he is doing. Jesus didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Somebody who told you the story about Jesus knew what the fuck they were doing. The people that wrote you the stories of the gospel, they knew what the fuck they were doing. And their job was to make you believe that Jesus knew what the fuck he was doing. So therefore, you could live by his standards instead of the standards of being a fucking man. Because you're afraid of being a fucking man, because a fucking man has responsibilities, and a fucking man has integrity. And all of those things require the gumption to be strong and fight. Even if it's an internal battle, even if it's just fighting in an argumentative sense, psychic warfare. People don't want to do that. They want to be cowards, and they want to appeal to Mother Hydra to bring her force in, instead of them being capable of defending their own integrity, their own actions. And so they pull from outside. It's kind of like watching one of those wrestling matches where you know, like the heel, maybe the heel is the more awesome guy, but you know, he's just wrestling, he's playing the role, he's playing the game of the heel, and then the baby face, who's probably scripted to betray anyway, which will be part of what makes it funny and interesting and all that. You know, he stomps you real quick, and then he looks at the audience, and the audience is like, yeah! And so you've got this cheer, you know, and then that demoralizes the heel, makes him more mad, makes him uglier, makes him nasty. Right? That's what I love about heels in wrestling. It's like the heel is beautiful because they operate on the statement of, I don't do it for your approval. And the babyface doesn't. They do it for your approval, but often the way wrestling works is that they start approving of you. And it's a question of whether you being the bad guy makes sense. So, once again, you know, are you watching a fight? Are you seeing somebody making meticulous choices over social dynamics? Who's being authentic? Who's actually, you know, trying to do things? I think that when we have men that want to stand up and stick out and be of high integrity and high standards and hold that line by holding themselves accountable to that, and thus they need to be surrounded by people that hold themselves accountable to those high standards. That takes going through a lot of work, shadow work, and other kinds of personal development work. Because you can work on getting strong and completely ignoring the shadow, which can have monstrous results, often do, and can only be swayed, by the hard hand of the world, right? Many people loved the wrestler Chris Benoit, but he did something evil when his life was going real south, and he did something evil to his family. And you can't speak of the man's character well now, unfortunately. And who knows the deeper side of those circumstances, right? And that's a big difference between who you are in your personal conduct and who you are in your public conduct. And of course, in wrestling, it's just there to entertain you while being an exposition and demonstration of your athletic ability. And that's all that's really supposed to be. And then you're entertained by it, and you give people money so they can do it again and do it better and have a great life doing it. Because you value that a great deal. But you unfortunately then project the love of that drama that is only there to fuel the competition in your personal life. And in real life, the drama and the fight is so fucking unnecessary when it comes to being, between people when you're building something up, right? And you don't have time to fight with friends that have betrayed you that mean nothing when you're dealing with the treachery of those that are trying to destroy the world. This is the kind of shit that we're dealing with. Anyway. So we need to have people that can lead people on different levels. Not everybody is an Einherjar. And nobody fucking starts as an Einherjar. And where's the fucking support group to push people accountably to get started on easy level, to medium level, to hard level, right? With increasing levels of asshole mentor whipping you into shape. That makes more sense. That'll serve you better than just looking for friends in social groups that agree with you. That will be your death. You'll turn into a fucking jackass. And I am nobody's jackass. What we got here? Oh, it's Cameron. What up, Cameron? It's not no subject, but I've desired to pick your brain about Norse mythology. I'm currently looking into the Gothic influence of English, and I want to chop it up about Loki. If you wish, I'd love to get your email for correspondence. Networks we share, all the best. Hey, cool, Cameron. Yeah. I throw this out there because I do readings. Zeralath@yahoo.com. Zeralath, my name, and it's Yahoo. Email me. If I don't see an email from you, I'll reach you in the Patreon. Cameron and I are associated on the Airship from James True. I highly recommend you check out my Mandela Effect interview I did with James True, and check out James True live. He's an awesome content creator, book writer, a little bit of a philosopher. and he is somebody who I consider in high regards and high respect in this very subject matter, because he thought people were of better quality, and they let him down when there could have been a more powerful and dynamic and selfless vision that would have been a tremendous pillar of light in what is still a dark world for many. But nobody wanted to take anything seriously or patiently enough to to see what the intentions were and what kind of back and forth as it was under development could have been, and he was denied a fair hearing. James True deserved a fair hearing. So anyway, yeah, cool, Cameron. We'll do it. I'll catch you guys later.